All right, I'm gonna start. Yo, what's going on, everybody? My stoned partner has a special announcement for you.
Um, so let me let me not even make it an announcement. Let's make it a little story. So last Saturday we record a podcast and I was feeling iffy. I was like, hey, something doesn't feel right, but you know what? The show must go on, and I tend to never know when I'm sick. I literally never know until the very last minute, and then I go, oh shit, I'm sick. So me and Jerry record like our longest podcast, I think, by the way. I
Yeah,
think hour and like 30 minutes. Probably the delusion I had was helping us just go on for an hour. And so we also had a great story about us getting arrested together. Um, but
good times.
good times. So after we get done the podcast, I get deathly ill. And you can even if you watch the podcast, like towards the end, you could start seeing I'm really not at, like I'm not even there. Like even Jared at the very end of us before we're dipping was just kind of like I think you even said something where you were just like, yeah, man, you just started kind of falling off. Like you didn't say it like that, but it was something like you were falling off towards the end. And I was like, yeah, like I
Yeah,
don't.
man. I thought you were zoning out. I was like, fuck, man, you're the one who wanted to talk about my music.
Yeah. So I I was zoning out. Like like definitely was zoning out for a good amount of it because so yeah, get really deathly sick after that and chills, all that stuff. And so Sunday comes and I'm still kind of sick. Monday comes and I'm like a little bit better. And then I'm like a well enough to get out of bed and go make myself a cup of coffee. Like I didn't drink coffee Sunday and I slept from what 4 p.m. we got done recording that podcast. Wait, so okay, so no, I didn't fall asleep right after the podcast because I literally put up the podcast still. I edited it, all that
Yeah,
while deathly sick. This is when I was like really sick, like literally as soon as we ended the podcast, like cough, all this stuff happening, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I told Jerry it'll be up Sunday, and I think I put it up. I had it up,
yeah, man.
and then and was to my surprise, Spotify. It was on Spotify like that day, which is crazy. Anyways, so
Along with all the other episodes, I was like, oh, we wait like a month for the other three, and then boom.
yeah, yeah. I guess Anchor was messed up or something. We use Anchor. But if you actually listen to this podcast anywhere, you actually get a sponsorship. So hopefully people keep watching and then we'll eventually start getting paid per episode, which would be great. Because we do have a sponsorship per I don't know if you know this, Jared, but like if you listen on Spotify, we do have me talking about Anchor like somewhere scattered anywhere throughout the episode. So
Really, I listened to it.
yeah,
I didn't even
it
notice.
should be working. If it's not, then that's probably why we haven't been getting any CPRs. So I'll have to try to go to record it again. But that's all business stuff we should talk about, not during the podcast. But yeah, so I'm sitting here and I'm like deathly sick, putting the podcast out. I eventually fall asleep till like 1 a.m. I wake up 12 a.m. and I wake up. I'm up till like 1:50. I played a little bit of Grand Theft Auto while sick. I don't know. It was like the best like thing to do to distract
Yeah, what
myself.
else are you gonna do?
I was like I couldn't fall asleep because like I was in like the throw of it. I was like having chills and like fever. And so yeah, I put out the podcast, I sleep for the like basically the next 2 days. I'm making coffee and I'm on the phone with my mom and I'm like, I think I think I might have COVID. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And I go and I'm pouring my coffee and I'm realizing while I'm pouring my coffee, something's off. Like just it hasn't hit me yet, but something in my life is missing. And I'm like, what? Huh, something's different. I sip my coffee and I didn't, when you sip your coffee, it hits your taste buds, it hits your tongue, and it's just like, That's a
Yeah.
fucking cup of coffee that I like. That didn't happen this time. And actually, what I tasted was just hot water. And then it all hit me at once. I didn't smell my coffee. That's why it was weird. And I sipped my coffee and didn't taste it. And it just all clicked. And I was like, I have COVID. So I got tested and I got an antigen test, which is that's the antibody. So I have the antibodies, and it's a 5-day antibody test. So basically, within 5 days, I've had COVID, which means within those 5 days, I've been infected. So then I was like, okay, that could have been a false positive. Let's get a real one. So Wednesday, I get the test back from CVS, and it's just like, yo, man, just like you should have listened to the first guy. Like you positive as fuck. I got a call yesterday or 2 days ago from Camden County, and they're like, you cannot leave your fucking apartment until next Thursday. And I was like, all right, chief. So I'm currently just locked in my apartment. Trying to avoid my roommate, but I think I've already infected that guy because on Saturday I was out and about because I was delusional. I literally was like, I didn't know what I was doing. I walked out, like talked to them for a couple of minutes apparently. So I was just like, I just definitely gave like him and his girlfriend COVID. And the funniest part when I got the antigen test, I got mail. I'm just walking in my apartment and I'm like, you know what? If I'm about to be locked up, might as well check my mail. I was waiting on something. So I like check my mail, grab my mail. He has mail and I walk into his room and this is how he finds out. I hand him his mail. I'm like, yo, man, you got mail. Give him his mail. And I was like, also I have COVID, so you got to go get tested. And I just left and walked in my room. That was the conversation. that was it. Just handed him the shit. Yo, you got mail? Oh, I have COVID. And then left. And then so all my friends got sick. Kevin got really sick. He was actually the one that got it the worst, I think. He was sick for like 4 days. George was sick for like 2 days. He has asthma too, so lucky I'm God fucking okay, so I was complaining a lot about losing my taste, and my dad said something that's really been ringing in my head, and it's actually been it's like kind of been pushing me in music, which this conversation oddly turns into what we were going to talk about today. But I could be on a ventilator right now. Like I could be like half alive, you know? So I might be losing my sense of taste, but I'm not losing my sense of life, which is my lungs. So I should be grateful that I can have a mild case of COVID. And just to let like people know, there are 2 new strains that are very contagious going around the United States that are from the United States, which is why if anybody knows me, I'm very like Jarrett knows. I'm like super careful with this COVID stuff. Been super careful about it since day one. Wear a mask everywhere I go. Shit, I probably wear 6 masks. Like if I found out that if the more masks you wear would prevent somebody else or you myself getting sick, I would wear as many masks as possible to prevent anything from happening to me. And I work in an environment which is kind of hard to keep the mask on. You work in the same type of environment like the warehouse life. And you're working hard and your mask falls off, and that tends to happen a lot if you're just wearing those paper masks. So basically my whole spiel is be safe. Yeah, I had to actually take a breath there because shortness of breath thing happening to me. But yeah, be safe. Like wear a mask. Don't like this literally happened to me because one asshole decided not to wear a mask. That's it. One asshole. And I'm very careful. Like I haven't really left my apartment to do anything else but literally go shopping for food and work. Like I've had people come over probably 4 times, 5 times throughout the whole year. Uh, it can get you even if you're the safest person on this planet, and not everybody gets a mild case. Yeah, it's what the statistics are saying. 4 out of 5 people get a mild case, but that one person out of the 4 out of 5 dies. So just keep that in mind. It's not somebody just gets really sick. It's like the 4 out of 5 people live, but that one person dies. So uh yeah, my whole spiel is just be safe. Um like I I don't wish this upon anybody, even just the fucking like sitting in your apartment or house or room, or worrying if you got your family members sick who are immunocompromised, and wondering if you potentially could have killed them. It's not fun worrying about death as well as just staring at your walls. Um, but it's made me appreciate music more. I've had a lot more time to like jam, and like it kind of made me stop worrying about the box that I feel like a lot of people put themselves in, where it's just like worrying about other people. I was just like, after I found out I had COVID, I was just like, yo, I could have died. And it kind of made me like think of things different, where I'm like just doing what I want with music. Even, you know, even if it's just like right now I'm trying to make a live set um where it's like boom bap beats with uh um god, brain fog. Boom bap beeps with like acapellas from other
Boop bop
rappers.
beeps.
Boom bop boop bap beep bop. The beep bop boys. No, but yeah, like I'm making like beats from samples, and then throwing acapellas on from rappers that I enjoy. And I kind of want to make that like a little live set I could do on Twitch or something like that, like once a week. Um, so yeah, it's been a blessing and a a curse at the same time. I feel terrible for all the people that I got sick. I'm sorry. Um, Brian Devine, if you're out there, man, I hope you're doing well. I hope people told you to get tested. I don't have any contact information for you. We work with each other, but I hope you're safe. Um, but yo, you want to hear a crazy story before we like fully get into the episode?
Yeah.
Um, so the day uh the 7th, so this is Thursday. So this is the day before I started experiencing symptoms, which I would have been contagious. Uh, this is okay. Big asterisk. Trigger warning. This is a very dark story, but this did just happen, and it's something that's kind of crazy. But yeah. So this 14-year-old kid in my building punched a fucking 95-year-old man and killed him. But I
That's
walked by
fucked.
those kids that day. And I wasn't being that safe with my mask at the time because I was just going to get my mail. Karma's a bitch, you motherfuckers.
Oh, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, that's a dark one, right? It's a
I'm
dark one.
I'm just gonna let that one ride.
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah. It's probably best to leave it with no comment. Um, but yeah, I I
Let me
I
ask you something.
go.
Um, do you believe in any kind of afterlife?
Oh, that's a deep one. Yeah. But I don't believe it's anything that like if there's a heaven, it's not heaven. You know what I mean? Like all that
Yeah,
religious
it's
shit
not it's
behind
not
it.
the pearly gates.
No, it's like anything with the religious aspect, I don't believe. I believe that there's a reason that every facet of religion all talks about the same place and the same thing, different names, different origins of the story, but they all lead to the same. There's a place up there and there's a guy up there. I believe we were created, right? Like the whole theory about like, oh, who created who, or like what created the creator. It's just like, well, fuck, like it's too deep of a concept to not be like, you know how like it's like the probability of aliens being real is like actually a mathematical possibility. I think the same thing is true about an afterlife. So I think like it is possible that that is a thing. So I can't discount it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yes, like, but like, yeah, like you can't, like, mathematically we could be living in a different universe right now, or a different what's that shit called? Yeah, we could be living in a parallel universe right now. Like that's a theory going around. Like mathematically, that's true. That could happen. Like there's been math that proves it, but like that's where a lot of these theories even come from, with like all these like parallel shit. But is like math. So like I tend to sit here and go, if math can somewhat prove that this is a thing, then I believe it's a thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm maybe not obviously. I don't know. Like I have a belief in those things, concepts, not the pearly gates, um, but just a place.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm big
I
into like karma, like that type of stuff. Like
yeah.
that's why I even mentioned that story, is because like that's how much I'm into karma. Is like I think it works in every way. Like
Mhm.
I think I think all that heebie jeebie stuff, that's what I like to call it. All that like folklore where it's just like like karma, and what's the other one? Fate. Like that type of stuff, like it's meant to have, like I believe a lot into that, because it's just like rolling a dice, you know what I mean? It's like
Mm.
it's just like, when's it gonna happen, rather than it happening. Like if you believe, like I don't know, like I don't know, I'm getting big into like the projection, self projection. Like if you want something positive to happen, you just like put yourself in the scenario. um so it's like if I was like to be a producer, what would that look like in my head? And then I just like try to reach a goal to get there in my
Yeah.
head. Like sampling, you know how long I've talked about sampling for? Like that's what I
Mhm.
wanted to be known for. And like I've worked on a lot of other things around sampling, which makes me now better at it. But now like I'm actually able to like pick a record up, throw it on my turntable, and actually sample something from it and cut it into a jam that I like, because I've just like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I was really going with that actually. I lost my train of thought.
Right. Um I asked that. I promise it is related to music. I imagine um with your with the beliefs we just talked about, you have some sort of higher power, regardless of,
Yeah.
what it is, or, a definition of it. But um yeah, I was reading this book. It's a book I read a lot. And that it says, remember that you're now at a place where you've tapped into a source of energy and power much greater than yourself. And right after, shortly after I read that, I was having a conversation with Jack about I sent him this demo, and he was like, dude, if you just like put like a mass of this shit out, like it's bound to catch on. um and it also, like, at the very least, you're bound to get real fucking good. at what you do. And I had this moment quite similar to the road trip that I went on. Are you frozen or do you no, you just look fucked up. Anyway, I
I'm definitely pretty high. I mean, like, I'm not even gonna deny that's all I've had to do is just I haven't even, you know what's funny?
what?
I'm sorry to sidetrack it.
No, you're fine.
I haven't drank this whole time. And it's
Yeah.
not because like I mean I literally plan as soon as we're done this podcast to get drunk now. I
Hmm.
just because I was like I uh I called my mom for a care package and I was like, yo, I need a pack of White Claws and then I jalapeno chips because all I can taste is spicy shit right now. So I need a little flavor in my life. But go. Sorry. But I'm
Oh
very
no,
high.
you're
That's
fine.
all I've had to do.
um so yeah, I read that I had that conversation with Jack, and then he was like there's this, this record we like by Into It Over It, 52 Weeks. I mean, it's the fucking bomb. And I have been listening to it nonstop, um, which was just another like kind of like the thing started to align moment. And he was like, I feel like you hit this like 52 weeks phase in your songwriting where you can just like sorry, I got a burp.
No, you're good.
um he's like, I feel like you've hit this 52 week spot in your songwriting where you can just crank shit out. And I basically just texted him back and I was like, just tell me to do it. Like, I just need you to tell me to do it. And he was like, you should fucking do it, man.
Bro, you guys sound like a 80s like summer camp couple just being like just like bro like just tell me to kiss you I will. You know what I mean? He just texts you, yo, I think you should do it, and then you're just like, tell me to do it, I'll do it, just tell me to do it.
Jack is one of the few homies in my life that I haven't kissed.
Yeah, I know. I think Matt is another one
Yeah, Matt, no way. No, no, no,
we've
no.
kissed. I think I've kissed all my homies too.
Yeah, most of them.
Not anymore because it's COVID.
Yeah.
Masks up.
R.I.P. Kiss your boys.
Yeah. Also, like I'm an adult.
Yeah. I I don't drink anymore, so
Yeah, that's another thing. Like the what is that called? The social lubricant
yeah.
is missing.
Yeah, right. But anyway, so I was basically like, dude, just tell me to do it and I'll do it. And he's like, you should do it, man. So last night, let me explain the concept first. I've been kind of weaving around it, but the record 52 weeks by Into It Over It was he wrote, recorded, and released a song a week for a year. So I am gonna try to do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
I
I
think I think I'm kind of also like I've always pondered that idea to just drop one song a week, and you know that's kind of funny that you're like coming to that conclusion too. Because like I was also I'm on that same boat where I'm just like I'm just gonna put out one of these acapella Johns a week and
mm-hmm.
just see what happens. Like I don't care for overwhelming. Like I haven't put anything out and I always talk about making music, but I never really put music out.
Mm,
So I was like, I think it's time. And I think it's time to just do it once a week and just see what happens.
yeah.
It also sounds like a fun idea because like you like Jack was saying, like what is literally the worst that could happen? You put music out and people hear it.
Yeah, or I don't finish and I just look like a big asshole.
Yeah, but that's why you don't put the pressure out of telling people that it's like this whole thing and like this big like, whoa, you just do it for yourself.
Yeah, man, I'm just gonna do the best I can. Another defining moment, over the past like week or so was I was explaining my songwriting process to someone and kind of where I get stuck. I think a big place that I get stuck at is definitely lyrically, trying to avoid talking about certain things in a certain way because I don't want to come off as like just another like tropey male emo lyricist.
Yeah.
And the thought is good. Like my intention is to kind of rise above that. Um but it does put me in a spot where I'm very, very hypercritical and analytical of my lyrics. And there's a point it gets to where you just got to say, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm I'm just going to stream of consciousness this bitch, and whatever happens happens. And so same thing with writing guitar parts is I start to get caught up in like the idea that it just sounds derivative and whatnot. And I've been having this whole moment with it where I'm like, the the more I write songs and the more I write lyrics, like it's a muscle, and you can work it and build it. And I think the more I do that and do these things, the faster I will get to finding my own voice. And people tell me like I've found my own, like my thing, and I do agree that my shit, it it all kind of falls in a very similar vibe, and it is my thing and I embrace that. But I am at a point where I think I can do better. I can go further,
Yeah.
and I just want to go for it. And when I took that road trip, it was it was when he, I had this thought when I helped you move. If you never moved, I don't know if I would have taken that road trip because I got in the van. I was by myself. It was the day before we actually moved you. And I was like, I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't done anything. And that used to be such a big defining part of my life was traveling and just saying fuck it and figuring it out. Fio, fuck it and figure it out. Um, so I remember I was kind of sad that weekend, and then by the end of it, I knew that I had to go. And a month later, I went on my little 12-day journey, and it was great. And I had a very similar feeling about this that I did then. It just kind of hit me at once, and I was like, I have to do it, and I am going to do it.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
I'm at.
I mean, like, literally what Jack said, why not?
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst outcome that that
Yeah, no, I think it's only positive outcomes. And to wrap that into a production point too, because like I'm writing the songs, playing the instruments, recording it, mixing it. I know Jack is gonna help me as much as he can. I imagine he'll play bass on most of it. Um, but it is like a very, very solo kind of effort. And to tie it into production, I'm very curious to see what this kind of how would you say, like very small deadline, and like doing the whole process in a very tight space of time. I'm curious to see what that brings out in the production because it's it's the kind of thing where you kind of just have to make decisions and stick with it.
Yeah.
So whatever, whatever little thing that I try, it's not going to be a whole lot of time to rethink the guitar tone or the way I mic the drums or, you know, etc. Like there's not time to rethink. It's just like fully committing to something, even if it's not the best,
Yeah.
and
So are you gonna
letting it
drop
go.
yeah. Are you dropping it like weekly or
Yeah.
so like you're gonna do like a weekly drop
Yeah.
of tracks?
Yeah.
It's a cool idea.
Hey man, it's not original,
I know. I know.
It's not an original idea, but um
I have some like so like I have like ideas around what I like because I'm doing like literally that I hate that. I hate not that I hate that we literally both came to this conclusion. It's awesome that we both were like, oh, let's just fucking do it. Um, but like it's always weird when that shit it's weird. It's weird. That's another weird thing I believe in the world where like that happens for a reason. I don't I don't I don't know. That
hey man, well it'll be cool if you end up going through with it.
Well, I want to
And
do some I want to do I have like an idea. My main idea is like I want to try to flip one of your Johns
mm,
1 week
yeah.
after so like I would you would drop something. I would have to be picky though cuz I'm like I'm not that great at like taking something that I hear like from like I don't know. Like I'm okay at it, but I'm getting better at chopping. And I'm saying like it would be pretty cool to like chop one of your jams and then throw a fucking like West Side Gun like acapella on top of one of your like I think we could do some like cool things like that. And like
Love it, man.
I'm thinking about like adding like a brand type vibe to mine, like making it like a big announcement type every week where it's just like what's the beat like this week, but like I gotta get it. I kind of have a following. Like I have like 30 strong people who follow me.
Right.
Maybe. Maybe there's
Hey, yeah.
TikTokers left, man. Who knows? But rest in peace to my TikTok family. I'm sorry. I've been lacking on TikTok. I can't keep up with the kids, man. I can't keep up with the kids. They just be
Hella content.
they oh dude. They make so I've noticed like the way to get onto the For You page is to make are you still drinking the same one?
I'm back to limoncello.
So we both popped up and we were talking about drinking LaCroix for like a second. And he pulls his can up. I was like, yo, I'm drinking the same LaCroix. And that is how you know you're real homies.
Oh, we're just in sync all
I by the
around.
way, by the way, I want everybody to know that Jarrett hated LaCroix
Oh
with a
yeah.
burning passion. Anytime I would drink one around him, he'd be like, get that shit out of my face. He hated the fucking shit. And I just every day would be like, just drink one, dude. Just drink one. Just drink one. And then he drank one and then he quit drinking. And now he's a little Croy boy. I want to put my fucking foot on the ground and be the astronaut to put the flag into the fucking like dirt and claiming that you only drink LaCroix because of me. You could have drank any fucking shitty Deer Park sparkling water out there, but you only drank LaCroix because I told you that this is the finest of it all. And it is. It is the
It
finest
is.
sparkling water out there. So fine that this is actually the only thing I can taste. And everybody says it has no flavor. Fuck you people. I have
Yeah.
COVID. I lost my taste and I can taste the watermelon still. So the essence works. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I talked a lot of shit on LaCroix. I used to say if I wanted something that tasted like shit and didn't get me drunk, I'd drink an O'Doul's. um,
And you did for a while.
yeah, I did, and then it took me right back to the old drink.
Did you get ID'd for do you get ID'd for that?
You do, yes, because
Why?
there's like a small percentage of alcohol in them.
Do you have to be like 18 rather than 21? Or do you
No,
have to be?
you gotta be 21. I remember right before I turned 21 and relapsed. That was when I was going through my like non-alcoholic beer thing. Um and I was at a restaurant uh with my family, and I went to get an O'Doul's and he ID'd me. It's like, bro, I'm here with my family just trying to drink an O'Doul's
So I
and
when I
get another day California sober.
yeah, so when I was younger, my cousin would drink virgin Long Island teas. I was always confused, but yeah, my cousin's not an alcoholic. They're just autistic, so I don't think like her mom really wanted her drinking, but
Right.
would give her virgin Long Island teas. They never ID'd her, but I always got confused why I couldn't have the virgin Long Island tea.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Interesting.
And what makes it virgin? Isn't that just a fucking iced tea?
Yeah, like
Isn't that just an iced tea? Wait,
yeah.
I think I'm coming down with something that my family was pretty fucked up for doing. Yes, you would order a virgin Long Island iced tea, but like if there's no alcohol, it's just regular iced tea.
Well, but I think there's I think with the I don't know, man.
No, because the Long Island tea is just literally it's like whiskey, vodka. It's just liquor. It's just all different liquors that kind of taste like it ends up tasting like iced tea. But like a virgin Long Island iced tea would just be no
Iced
liquor
tea.
and regular iced tea. Yo, my family's fucked for that. I just want to say my family is fucked for that. None of you watch this, but like whoever did that is an asshole and should explain what they've done to that person because they've been tricking them. At least get them with like a virgin pina colada, like something like that.
Right. Right.
But that's so obvious now. Like that's so fucked up.
That's funny.
They would say you can get a virgin Long Island tea, knowing that and that's why the waiters would be so confused. Now it all sinks in.
Yeah. It's like you mean an iced tea?
And they're like, no, a virgin one.
Right. Yeah,
I
that's
got
interesting.
I
Yo, do I seem out of it? I feel like I seemed like I'm stoned. It's like you're
it's probably my vibe, dude. I'm just pushing that vibe out that I'm just
yeah.
sitting. This is such a chill podcast.
Yeah.
Usually I'm really hopped up off of coffee, but like since I don't have a taste, like that's another thing. Like a majority of what like wakes you up is the taste of coffee rather than the actual caffeine like in the coffee. Because like I don't know what it exactly is, but when you get the taste, it opens your taste buds up, and then you get more caffeine from that. Maybe I
That's
forget. It's
interesting.
like some barista shit that I learned, but. So since that's not happening where I'm like salivating and my pores are opening up on my tongue, and when I drink the coffee, I'm not getting as caffeinated.
Hmm.
Like I haven't had any heart palpitations, and that is fucking odd. I have them every time I drink one cup of coffee, man. So yeah, dude, it's some weird shit. Like my body knows something's missing, and like I told you, like I have like really good like I hear way better now. Like I actually heard the fucking 3M tape like coming off my wall, and I heard the record fall before it like actually fell because I just heard the tape kind of coming off. And like usually I wouldn't be hearing that shit. But like I actually heard that, like I looked over and saw my record falling and I caught it. So like
It's interesting.
I would much rather lose my sense of taste for better ears because you know why? I'll probably be better at mixing.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If I could if I could trade my taste or my smell for like double insane mode hearing, I'd do that any day of the week.
Yeah. Or if there was like a trigger on my head that I could just like beep. Well, Neuralink 20 like 37. Like we'll all be sitting here like upgrading our shit. Bro, think about this.
Hmm.
Do you have tinnitus?
I've got something. I don't know if it's tinnitus.
I mean, do you just get a random ringing in your ear? At,
Yeah,
that's
every now and
tinnitus.
again.
That's
But I
tinnitus.
also have I also have some weird fucking thing that's got a long ass name, and
Explain. I'm interested. I always like knowing about people's things.
I don't know what it's called. I can report back with correct information, but I
I
think
kind of
it's
let people just look shit up on their own. If they want to call us out, I'll be like, thanks in the comment section at this point.
yeah.
Yeah, like
All I know
whatever.
is, and I don't even know if this is related to the to the thing with the long name that I have, but I've noticed I have a very, very high sensitivity to particular sounds. Like shit that doesn't bother some people is absolutely grating to me. It's like it's like exhausting to listen to. Like honestly to an unbearable point. Like I work in a metal shop. So there's like, you know, there's a couple things that are just like loud and a couple we have this one tool. It's called an air hammer. It's like it doesn't look like a hammer, but
It
it's
just
like
shoots hammers.
dude, it literally hooks up to an air compressor and you just like it you know hammers the shit down.
Right.
It's intense. It is so loud on metal. And like, you know, my partner and other people in the shop who are just like in and out, like sometimes like my partner in particular, like sometimes I'll be like, "Yo, you want your headphones?" Like and I got some like shooting headphones, like some real fucking noise reduction type shit. And
What do you bring your Vic first with you?
no, I bought like a an actual pair off Amazon for people who shoot guns.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're a real deal set of like earmuffs, and half the time I'll go to use this tool and I'll be like, "Yo, you going to put your ears on?" And sometimes they'll be like, "Nah, you're cool. Just run it." Sometimes I'll be like, "Yeah." But if the roles are reversed and he's doing that, I literally I I either have to run to the earmuffs or exit the shop. It is so like it's just painful. And on top of that, like I think about like the stuff that I like to do. I'm not going to say my line of work, but you know, with the mixing stuff, like I, I know that's a factor too because I think about like every time that I don't use that kind of like that I don't use ear protection when that's going on. I'm just like, there's there's a couple more frequencies you just lost, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. I've been actually starting to really concern myself with like ear protection.
Dude, and
Not
it's
like
fucked up, man, because I have always, since I was like maybe like 15, always kept a pair of earplugs in my pocket. I don't right now because I don't go to any shows, but you
yeah.
know, when I was like practicing with bands a lot in various places and going to shows and whatnot, like I just made it a point to carry earplugs with me because I literally couldn't tolerate the sound. So I am convinced that I just like I fucked my shit up and it did not take very long. You know, I've had this sensitivity thing going on for like quite some time now.
Yeah.
And I when I think about it from a mixing perspective, it starts to be a mind fuck because I start thinking about how what I'm hearing could be totally different from what someone else is hearing,
But I
you
like to think
know?
about it like this. The guys mixing your albums ears are destroyed.
Mm.
Like think about it. Like they that's their job is to listen to music.
Yeah,
And
but I
some
think
Sometimes
I've
the mixes might be too loud. You know, you might have your shit put at some volume and then somebody sends you some 808 shit and it rumbles your fucking ears enough that that's all it takes is like one thing to rumble your ears and not shatter your eardrum, but like cause tinnitus, cause these issues of hearing. So like if you think about it, so one bad mix, like these guys have been doing this for probably 15 years. One bad mix could just probably destroy your hearing. Like you got to think like that's like an actual possibility, like while mixing, like
yeah.
for a
Well,
career.
so I mean, I know like CLA, he will only mix at a very, very low volume. And I imagine like the guys who are at the top of the game are pretty in tune to the
Well, that's
idea, no pun intended, pretty in tune to the idea that you got to save your ears, and ear fatigue is real, man. I mean, that's a whole different conversation, but sometimes it can take an hour, sometimes it can take an 8 to 10 hour session, but there is a point, and I am getting more and more aware of it. There's a point where any of the changes you make
you don't
are
hear.
you're shooting in the fucking dark,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I've made a new rule where and this just helps me with my production in general, where I will work for an hour, break for a half hour. So I like the whole goal of that is so like every time I hear it, it sounds new. Every time I'm doing something, there's an objective to it. So
Mhm.
like it's like kind of forcing me to like if I'm work say like today I worked on this uh like live set I've been trying to get together for like an hour and a half or so today. But then I took like an hour off because I was like, if I keep hearing, and this is also just something I think like everybody should do because it'll probably improve your production better because you're hearing like, so I played it at one time, or actually Kai jumped on my desk, hit the space bar, so the song started playing, and I was out making like food or coffee, and I hear the
Mm.
song, and I just like I heard it different and I heard a
Mhm.
ride playing on the fourth beat of every measure, so a ride hitting at the very end of each beat to make
Mhm.
it sound like a ride carrying the beat. And
Mm.
I heard that out there, but I'd never heard it sitting in my studio with the speakers.
Mm.
So I think it's just important to walk away from your speakers in general,
Yeah. Yo,
like
you
what.
ever get into you ever watch that dude Gregory Scott on YouTube, Kush Audio, UBK After Hours?
That sounds familiar.
You got to dig in, man. He is a wealth of knowledge.
What was
And
his
he
name?
also his YouTube channel, I would just look up Kush Audio UBK After Hours. We could throw it in the show notes. Um, Not only is he just like an incredibly like knowledgeable person, but I
So time out,
really,
time out, time out. This is actually something I struggle with. I'm sorry. So
yeah,
I'm
go for
looking
it.
at his videos, right? I'm assuming you don't have any of his plugins, correct?
Mm-mm.
Okay. This is my biggest question that I ask everybody, and I always get like a half-ass answer. So, one, I'm imploring you to not give me a half-ass answer.
Okay, yeah.
When you're looking at somebody else's plugins, you're like looking at their threshold, all that shit. You actually copy everything they're doing, right? How do you know you did it right? Like, how do you, in your head, how do you know, like, this sounds correct to me? Like, cause like
Like you're
you're just
saying, okay, so let me use an example that makes sense to me. Um, I just very recently bought ProQ, Fab Filter John.
wow.
Oh fuck, dude, fucking great purchase. It is so powerful.
It's amazing that fucking the movement um the I forget what it's called, the parallel movement
Yeah,
feature that you can.
everything about it
It's an
it's a
amazing.
beautiful
Yeah.
plugin, and I have only begun to I'm just at the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Um, but so if I understand your question correctly, I get Pro Q and I watch some dude saying, here's how I set, my Pro Q shit, and I go into Pro Tools and I copy all that.
No, some dude's using an EQ8 on Ableton, and you're using Pro Q. How do you that type of situation? But it wouldn't really work with EQs because EQs are too similar.
Oh, you're talking about like,
So this dude's using a fucking like an analog compressor, but the only compressor you have is your stock compressor, which is not an analog compressor, but you have the same knobs, right? It's a threshold, it's this and this. How do you learn on your thing? That's what I'm asking.
mm, I mean,
Like, cause
so
you also have an analog compressor, so like,
I do, yes.
like, okay, let's do it this way. Somebody's using a compressor from their stock Pro Tools, right? And you're using your analog compressor. How do you get their how do you understand their compressor like to mimic your compressor?
This answer is going to be more simple than the one you're looking for, but I mean, if it's the same knobs and controls that I have, that's,
That's it. Yeah, sure.
if I'm trying to copy
I gotta
the
find a
way,
better example. Hold on.
yeah, I mean,
You can keep
but
talking.
to keep, to dive a little deeper in that, like something I struggle with is like any video you see on any kind of plugin, or, whether it be EQ or compression or like effects like reverbs and delay, anything you see online isn't the be all end all.
Yeah.
It is merely a suggestion. You know this.
Yeah.
Um, just like your compression TikTok was merely suggestion. Um,
Yeah.
I so I try to take that in and say, okay, like this is a setup that works good on a kick drum, or like this is, if we're talking compression, this is a
Yeah.
setup that works good on a kick drum or a lead vocal, like this kind of thing. I I struggle with that too. Like there's certain, especially with compression. I mean,
I actually can hear compression. I actually
I
hear it now.
I can hear it and I can use it with like actual intent. Like
Yep.
I have something that I want to, it's hard to
Like, okay,
describe without.
for me, I like to crush my drums by using a glue compressor. Like, I have a use for my compression now, like besides just compressing. Like, I know how to use the compression in a way of misuse and the actual use of compression, and I can hear what I'm doing and understand what I'm doing. That's what you're saying, right? Like, you can
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
understand
It's
what you're
like
doing.
sometimes like take like a tapping guitar part, for example. It's like super super good spot to use compression because when you're playing like tapping guitar, there's a lot of notes that dominate the part and a lot of notes that just aren't really coming out because of the style. And I'll be like, okay, like I'm gonna go in here with this compressor and make this shit even so that I can sit it in my mix, right? Like I do have intent um behind it.
They say that when you start to learn compression, you're becoming the ultimate producer or like the ultimate like mixing engineer because
I'll tell you what, man, it is the fucking hardest one to hear.
yeah, like you literally no like I for I mean like I started really my journey I like to say 2020. I started messing with production in like what 2018 2019 is when we kind of started doing the tour
Nah, that's 2018.
really.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so 2018 is when I started to dabble. I dabbled with compression that whole time. This whole time of messing with stuff. 6 months ago, it clicked. 6 months ago, when I made my
Mm-hmm.
video, it all clicked for me. and I've messed with compressors. I've copied everybody's compression. I've just copy, and it finally clicked. But like my thing is more so, I guess what I'm referring to is how do you learn? Like you said, that was a good that's a good one. Like that's a good answer. Like is it merely a suggestion? So you're taking somebody's suggestion, but like how do
Yeah,
you
how do you know if you made the right
internalize
or
it?
wrong?
No, not even. How do you internalize it? Like, because that's my issue right now. Is like, I mean, like, there's some things that click and I internalize, but there's some things that when you learn stuff with production, it's boring. Like a lot of it can be boring, where you're just like, so turn the knob to 10 milliseconds. All right, and then all right, you wanna raise the threshold here. Okay, so like, how do you retain that information? Like how do you
Yeah.
do you write down notes? Do you
Yeah. Yeah. So I for what year is it? It's 2021 now. So for a large, probably the first 6 months of 2020, I would lay in bed for hours listening to different producers like talk about their shit. And, like a thing or two would stick and I'd try that, something that really jumped out to me. But we're talking about hours worth of content, Gucci.
yeah
That's what I was listening to.
yeah
And after a while, I kind of hit this point with it where I was like, if I'm not writing this down with either on the notes app on the iPhone or with a pad and pencil, if I'm not writing this down, I might as well just turn the video off because I'm not even gonna get a fraction of the knowledge that is being bestowed upon me. You know what I'm
yeah
saying?
so okay, I feel like you've told me you
Let me
struggle.
tell you. Okay, let me tell you something real quick. The
All right, tell me.
best way that I have learned anything is sitting next to someone who knows what the fuck they're doing and watching them, or having someone who knows what the fuck they're doing sitting next to me, and I'll be like, this is the decision that I think I should be making here.
Yeah
Am I am i onto something, or am I not in the right headspace?
yeah
That's why I always get, you know that's why I always give Jack so much credit, because there were so many things that I learned from him just like hanging out and helping me with something. I was like, holy fuck, you can do that. Like, even just like basic, like Pro Tools shortcuts, or like, like navigating the doll. There was
yeah
so many little things that entirely changed my workflow, when he was just like, dude, you don't have to like, you don't have to do that. You can just command blah blah blah, you know? And I was like, holy fuck.
oh dude,
You probably just saved me like an hour a session,
I
you
think
know?
I think everybody underestimates, and this is just like me, me always giving my rants, but everybody underestimates commands. Learn your fucking commands. Your life.
Dude, learn those commands.
I
I
don't ever use
remember,
my mouse to do shit anymore. It's my keyboard. Well, I have my Ableton push, so I'm really blessed now. But keyboard is how I did everything. I kind of forget my commands because of how much I use the push for everything now. But
mm,
like,
yeah, I remember this was something that I had heard long before I had actually got in to doing any sort of production on my own. But I was doing a Space Cadet something at Blue Light, and Matt Bogacki had an intern there, and I remember him sitting next to the intern who was, running the session, and being like, "Why are you clicking? Why are you clicking so much? Stop clicking. Stop mousing." The whole time.
that I'm,
And
and especially in
and
Pro
that dude,
Tools.
that stuck with me.
Yeah,
Stuck with
it's
me.
important. If you go into a production with with a like let's say you're gonna go fucking record like Migos or something, and you use your mouse, the head producer is gonna beat your ass probably. You should know how to, especially in Pro Tools, you can do everything with Pro Tools just with your keyboard and spacebar.
Yeah.
Like your spacebar apparently does everything. Like anytime I've seen
Mm,
anybody on I don't use Pro Tools, but every time I've been in like that studio where the guy's using Pro Tools, spacebar and this like command button just seems like it's like the whole key to it all. Like it's kind of like Ableton's command. Like if I just hold command and hit like any random letter on my keyboard, it's going to do something.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
Kybert, soon.
It's interesting, man.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, I'm no shortcut guru, but I am always picking up new ones.
Oh
Especially
yeah.
like it's funny because like doing the 5 minute EP was probably the first time Jack and I had like truly worked together. Like I've come into my own and am able to like work beside him. And like there were so many moments where it didn't matter, either one of us um was sitting at the captain's chair, and the other one was like, there's got to be a faster way to do that, like there's a shortcut for that. And there's a couple that we like picked up.
I
um
mean, if you just look in your top toolbar and just go through the toolbar,
mhm.
it tells you all the commands in your like
Yeah.
files, John. So it's a good
Yeah.
hint if you're trying to learn how to on Ableton. Just fucking hit command and start hitting buttons, and then you'll figure
Yeah.
you'll figure out what the fuck you're doing. I found this really cool one. It's called insert time. So say I make a loop, right? But I need an intro. I can just like highlight the 8 bar loop and then hit command I and it inserts 8 bars for me. It's like the
Oh,
dopest
that's
thing in the world.
nice.
Yeah. It's
That's
like
nice.
it's real nice. So like if I'm sitting here, I'm like, this needs a bridge here instead of this chorus going straight here. Command I, bam.
Yeah.
Um,
I think you're right. Looking at your toolbar and the drop down menu and just being like, okay, that's the key command for that thing. Like that is a good way to do it. I think just for me personally, what I've found more efficient and more memorable is like the situation I described just now with Jack. I mean, I do this a lot on my own where I'm doing the same thing over and over, and I just think like there's probably a faster way to do that, and then I look it up. Sure enough, there is. And
yeah.
I just kind of like, I don't know all the shortcuts for all the things, but I'm pretty good with what I need to know. Like I'm getting pretty quick. So,
Yeah.
and it most of it has come from just asking myself that question. Is there a better way?
I
There is.
definitely when I'm on live, I definitely get a bit of like cockiness by the amount I know my shortcuts.
Right.
Cause I'll just be jamming and then I hear space, but I just hear the clicking of my mechanical keyboard and I think in my head I'm like, there's one kid out here who's just like, whoa, how do you do that so quick? And I'm just like,
Right.
because I learned my commands, kid. I learned my commands.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
but so yeah, I just yeah, I lost my train of thought. This is my COVID brain. I had a
Oh, it's
whole
fine. I had something I was thinking about, like drawing this conversation back to the 52 weeks thing is I'm I'm very like, I already know this is just going to happen where I am going to get a lot faster at doing certain things. I'm probably going to pick up a lot more shortcuts, like key command or not, because there's
I mean
more shortcuts
even
than,
musically you're gonna have to pick up shortcuts.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's just it's gonna be a cool experience. Because I'm gonna get fast, and then eventually it'll be over, and I'll have time to like sit down and work on a record, like really work on a record. And I imagine that so much of the time I spend on mixing now will be spent on other things because I'm just like boom boom, I'm there, you
Bro,
know.
I'm gonna need you to keep talking about this, but I'm about to piss my pants. So
Yeah.
I need to run to the bathroom, but keep talking about it because I'm gonna jump back in because I have a few
All
questions about
right.
it.
Yeah, sounds good.
So the podcast is up
Um
to you, Jerry. Pull this off
yeah, that's a lot.
Bill Burr style.
All right. Yeah, man. That's a lot of pressure. I tried to do a podcast on my own once and it really didn't work. I kind of thrive off of people's energy, but Luke's gone now, so here I am. But yeah, the interesting thing is just getting a hell of a lot faster and having the time to like post 52 weeks, like having the time to make more intricate decisions. And I think the the improvement on mixing speed is going to play into that so much because it's so much faster to get the basic mix there. You have so much more time to actually work on those small tweaks. You know, the big picture stuff comes a lot easier. So you get those you get the time to work on those really really small things and not feel like you're taking away from the big picture.
Hi, I'm back. So
What's up, piss man?
yeah, dude, I was trying. If you when you
I
watch the
I
video,
I gotta pee too. I'm not gonna lie.
okay. So what was your tidbit? Because you know I can rant by myself. I'm pretty good at that. What was
It,
the tidbit of what you were just saying? Because I know you were
it was
talking
it was
about.
pretty rough. I was just kind of talking in circles about, you know, the 52 weeks thing is just gonna get me faster, and then I'll have more time to spend on the little things rather than the big things.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's like kind of like the whole. I think the only reason people do that is simply to like improve on their skills because like you don't really you're not making masterpieces in 1 week. I mean, you could. I mean that does happen, but like you're not really doing that. Like a lot of people who put out like these like really like full length blah 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 type albums.
Yeah, hold on, my mom's here. Hello. Yeah, I'll catch you later, Luke.
All right, later, man.
See ya.